Hey guys, and welcome to Debbie's Rusty Brush. Today's project is to take an old handmade rustic wood box and turn it into a trinket box fit for a king, or at least the car lover in your life. All right, so what we're going to do is we've started with this old handmade wood box and we're turning it into this gorgeous car-inspired trinket box. And this trinket box is made to look like it is rusted, and it has these old license plates and the truck on the top. And so this is really easy to do. You just have to source the material or build your own box. So all I did was used some paint, some decoupage medium, some printer paper. These images were printed right off of Google. I do use a torch, a lighter will work, or you can simply use some water and tear around the edges of the paper. I like to use a lighter because I like to have some of the darkness that you get from burning the edges to show through the rust there that I'm painting. And so and then at the end I seal it with some Dixie Belle clear coat in flat, and then I put some dark wax on it to help age the paint and the paper a little bit more. So we will go through a quick step-by-step on how to do this. We won't show the entire process of doing this, but we'll do snippets of each step so that you can see how I go about doing this. Bear in mind, you will need to have drying time in between the steps, so that you do want to make sure that things are good, dry, and cured. All right, let's get started. Okay, so what I'm starting with is just using some rustic red in Dixie Belle paint, and I'm just going to put a base coat on the entire box all the way around and the top. I do end up later going through and doing the lip under the box because this is rustic and handmade, and the lid does move around just a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that none of the wood showed at any time. You will notice that I am not using any additional water. This wood was pretty porous and the paint is soaking in really well and it's spreading nicely, so I didn't have to get my mister out and add any water at all. Okay, so today what I want to talk about is the love of taking something old, something that somebody is getting rid of, and turning it into something beautiful and new. And the inspiration for doing that, and to keep things out of the landfill, and to hopefully find a home and somebody that will love this new treasure for years to come. What I'm doing now is I'm just taking my torch and I'm going through and burning the edges of this paper. I don't want any hard edges. I want it to be soft and smooth and irregular all the way around. And I do use the torch because I like to have that darkened around the edges. I like the way it shines through the paint treatment later. And these images were taken off of Google.
and just printed on a regular printer on printer paper, so you don't need anything special. Now I'm taking some Mod Podge, and I know that there are many different kinds of decoupage medium out there. Mod Podge was what I had on hand, so I'm taking some Mod Podge. I'm putting a coat on the box itself and a coat on the back of my picture, and just making sure that it's soaked into that paper. And then I'm just going to lay my paper on and smooth it out as best that I can. And then once I've got it all smooth, I'm going to go ahead and add a second layer or another layer over the top of the picture to seal that in. Okay, and now I'm just going to take some license plates that I printed off. I'm going to do the same treatment with the torch around the edge, and I'm going to do this all the way around the box so that it has a cohesive look.
So it is fun to try to come up with new things to do. Now, when I decided to do this box, I do jewelry boxes from time to time, and I typically always do those for women. I know men have some boxes that are jewelry boxes for them, but typically I try to find unique ones and ones that you don't find just anywhere, and they lend themselves to be made up for a woman or a young girl to start a collection in. And so I typically take those in a flowery purple or green kind of direction, some pinks, and make those for the young women. But when I was able to find this old rustic box, I thought, what a great way to get a box that I can style just for the guys in our lives. And my husband is a car lover, so I decided to go with the car theme. And I'm hoping that some young man will have some treasures that he needs to store, and that this box will work out just perfect for him.
So now we're ready to paint. And all I'm doing is I have got DIY in Summer Crush and Queen Bee, layered chocolate, and I'm using some of that Dixie Belle rustic red that we coated the base coat with. And I've got a brush that I have completely worn out, and I'm just going through and stippling these colors on around the edge of the paper. And in some areas I'm coming down inside the paper so that it is even more irregular. And I'm just going back and forth with those colors until I get what looks like rust to me, because what I'm going for is the look of an old rusted tin box, even though this is wood. And so here you see me taking where I'm adding a rusted out section right in the middle of these license plates. And so you can get real creative with this and just have fun and play and make it unique and make it look like it is truly a old rusted tin box. And so I will take this paint treatment and I will go all the way around this box, anywhere that the red paint is showing, and to cover up the area where we have decoupaged these papers on and give it a cohesive look. It will look like an actual old rusted tin box when we're done.
So it's always fun to try to figure out what to do with anything that you're creating, whether what direction to take it in, whether you're going to take it in a male direction or a female direction, if you're going to take it into the rustic car type thing, or woodland creatures or mystical, or there's just so many directions that you can take your creative outlet, especially when it comes to these wood boxes, because nobody's the same. Everybody's diverse, everybody likes different things, and all of them can be made to be beautiful and functional and usable again for years to come. And I really, really like seeing that happen versus them ending up in a landfill.
Okay, so now I've got Dixie Belle clear coat in flat, and I'm just going to go through and put a coat on every place that we have painted or decoupaged, just to give it a good seal coat. Do be sure to let our previous treatment dry and cure fully, and then go through and put this on and let it also dry and cure completely, so that when we put our wax on, we're not rubbing any of this off. Okay, and now we're using Dixie Belle's Best Darn Wax in brown, and I'm just going to go through and put a quick coat over the entire box, and that will give us a little more age to those rusted areas and a little more age to that new paper that we decoupaged on.
All right, I hope you enjoyed this video and this little how-to on creating something new out of something old that was just being gotten rid of. If you do like my videos, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell notification so that you get notified anytime I upload a video. And if you could share this with your friends, that would be wonderful. It certainly helps my channel grow, and I appreciate it a lot. All right, thank you so much, and you guys have a great week.